I want to start with something direct. Do you also wake up several times every night, 2, 3, or even 4 times, just to go to the bathroom? If the answer is yes, I completely understand how frustrating that can be. That constant interruption not only steals valuable hours of sleep, it also drains the energy you should have for the next day. Over time, it can affect memory, weaken the heart, and even increase the risk of falls. Many men tend to think with resignation, it's just age. But let me make something very clear, it doesn't have to be that way. The good news is that there are simple, natural, and accessible solutions that can help you sleep through the night without interruptions. And the best part is, they're not expensive pills or strange tricks. They're common fruits, the kind you can easily find at your local grocery store, or maybe already have in your kitchen right now. Today, I'm going to show you 3 nighttime fruits that, if you include them correctly in your routine, can make a huge difference. I'll explain how and when to eat them so that they really work, and at the end, I'll share a special recipe along with some nighttime habits that enhance their effect even more. So stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover can transform not only your nights, but also your mornings. The first fruit, the banana. Let's talk about this powerful nighttime ally. You might think it's too common to have such a big impact, but believe me, often, the simplest things are the ones that truly work. Bananas are loaded with potassium and magnesium, 2 essential minerals for muscle relaxation. And I'm not just talking about the muscles you feel in your legs or back, but also the internal ones you rarely think about, like the bladder and urinary tract. When these muscles are tense or irritated, the bladder contracts unnecessarily and sends those annoying "I need to go to the bathroom" signals in the middle of the night. Eating bananas regularly helps those muscles relax, reducing nighttime urgency. But that's not all. Bananas contain tryptophan, an essential amino acid that your body converts into serotonin and then into melatonin, the hormone responsible for regulating sleep. This means that, in addition to calming the bladder, bananas help you fall asleep faster and rest more deeply. One more detail: bananas are naturally low in sodium. Why is that so important? Because a diet high in salt promotes fluid retention, which increases urine production. By including bananas in your diet, you help maintain a healthier fluid balance in your body, reducing the amount of urine produced during the night. Many people also discover another valuable benefit: the prevention of nighttime cramps. Surely, at some point, you've woken up in the middle of the night with a sharp pain in your calf. The potassium and magnesium in bananas help prevent those muscle spasms, allowing you to rest more peacefully and without sudden awakenings. Let me share the case of Edward, a 72-year-old man who came in exhausted after months of waking up 4 times a night. He also suffered from constant cramps. I suggested something as simple as eating a ripe banana 1 hour before bed. A week later, he returned with a huge smile. "I slept almost through the night and didn't have a single cramp." Small changes, giant results. Now then, how and when should you eat it to get the most out of its benefits? The ideal is to choose a ripe banana, not green, but not overripe either, about an hour before going to bed. You can eat it on its own as a light snack or with a bit of plain unsweetened yogurt. That mix provides proteins and probiotics that support digestion during the night. If you have diabetes, it's best to choose ripe, but not overly sweet bananas, avoiding those with many dark spots. You can pair them with a small handful of walnuts or almonds, which helps slow down sugar absorption. In conclusion, bananas aren't just a breakfast fruit. They're a natural, affordable, and delicious way to relax the bladder, prevent cramps, and prepare your body for deep, continuous sleep. Now, before moving on to the second fruit, I'd love to know something so we can connect with our community. From which city or country are you watching us? Write it in the comments. I love getting to know people who truly care about their health, and it helps me create content that's more useful and relevant to you and your region. The second fruit, the pear. Let's now move on to this other great ally against nighttime interruptions. At first glance, it may seem like a modest fruit without much spotlight, but its composition makes it a treasure for anyone who wants to sleep through the night. The first thing that stands out is its content of what specialists call structured water. It's not the same as drinking a glass of water right before bed. That water, trapped in the pear's fiber, is released slowly into your system, hydrating you without overloading the bladder. The result is that your body stays hydrated through the night without triggering the urge to get up. In addition, pears contain pectin, a soluble fiber that helps stabilize blood sugar levels. Why does that matter? Because blood sugar spikes can cause sudden awakenings or stimulate urine production. Keeping glucose levels balanced is essential for the body to stay in rest mode. Another plus, pears are naturally low in acid. This means that people with sensitive bladders who don't tolerate citrus or more acidic fruits can enjoy pears without discomfort. I remember the case of Julia, a 66-year-old woman who suffered bladder irritation every time she ate oranges at dinner. When she replaced them with pears, she managed to sleep several nights in a row without that burning sensation or constant urgency. Pears also offer antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds like flavonoids and vitamin C, which protect the kidneys and help maintain a healthier fluid balance in the body. It's not just about sleeping better tonight. It's also about taking care of your kidney health in the long run. As for how and when to enjoy it, the best time is between 30 and 45 minutes before going to bed. You can eat it on its own, well washed and with the peel, since that's where most of the fiber is concentrated. Another option is to include it in a light salad with a bit of fresh cheese or some tender spinach leaves. And if you'd like to give it a special touch, add a pinch of ground cinnamon. Besides its aroma and flavor, cinnamon helps stabilize blood sugar and supports digestion during the night. In short, the pear is practical, affordable, and delicious, a perfect choice for smart hydration, keeping glucose stable, and protecting the bladder while you sleep. A small gesture before bed that can make a huge difference in your rest and energy the next day. The third fruit, grapes. We've reached the third member of this list, and believe me, this little gem has more power than it seems. The grape, especially the red or purple kind. Few people know that it's one of the only fruits that naturally contains melatonin, and as we've already mentioned, melatonin is the hormone that regulates the sleep-wake cycle. Eating a few grapes at night helps the body recognize that it's time to rest. It's like a gentle yet firm signal telling your body, relax, it's time to sleep. The result is deeper sleep and a more stable nighttime rhythm. But grapes don't just provide melatonin, they're also rich in resveratrol, an antioxidant widely studied for its cardiovascular benefits. This compound protects the heart and blood vessels, and it also has an anti-inflammatory effect that can reduce bladder irritation. What does this mean in practice? A less inflamed bladder is a calmer bladder during the night, which translates to fewer trips to the bathroom. Another strength of grapes is their potassium content. This mineral helps balance sodium in the body, thereby reducing fluid retention. That means less urine production during the night and a much more continuous rest. And we shouldn't forget that grapes are light and easy to digest. Unlike heavier or more acidic fruits, they don't cause bloating or heartburn, which makes them a perfect nighttime option. Let me tell you about the experience of Lawrence, a 74-year-old man who used to wake up 3 or 4 times every night. When he started eating a small bunch of grapes before bed, he noticed a change in less than 2 weeks. "Now I only get up once, and there are nights I don't wake up at all," he told me with relief. What's the best way to eat them? Ideally, between 6 and 8 whole grapes, with the skin and, if you can tolerate them, the seeds as well. Have them about 45 minutes before bedtime to get the full benefits. Avoid packaged juices, since they usually contain added sugar and lose the natural fiber that helps moderate glucose absorption. A simple trick is to keep grapes in the fridge. Cold grapes are refreshing and relaxing at the end of the day. In summary, grapes are small but powerful. They provide melatonin to promote sleep, resveratrol to calm bladder inflammation, and potassium to reduce fluid retention, all in a light, sweet bite that's easy to include in your nighttime routine. Combination and practical recipe. Now that we know the 3 fruits and their benefits, the question is, how can we make the most of them? The answer is simple, by bringing them together in a nighttime fruit salad that combines the best of each. The most effective preparation is this: half a banana sliced, half a pear cut into small pieces with the peel, and between 6 and 8 whole grapes with the skin, and the seeds if you tolerate them. Place everything in a small bowl, mix gently, and if you like, sprinkle a little ground cinnamon on top. Cinnamon not only adds a warm, comforting aroma, it also helps stabilize glucose and promotes nighttime digestion. The most important thing is to keep the recipe simple, no added sugar or artificial sweeteners. These fruits already have the perfect balance of sweetness and nutrients. When you combine them, you get a powerful mix of potassium, magnesium, natural melatonin, antioxidants, and fiber. Everything your body needs to relax, regulate fluids, and prepare for deep rest. One key piece of advice: avoid pairing this salad with large amounts of water or other drinks because although hydration is important, doing so right before bed increases pressure on the bladder and defeats the purpose. Ideally, enjoy this fruit salad between 45 and 60 minutes before going to bed, giving your body time to process the nutrients and naturally ease into sleep. It's a simple, affordable, and delicious ritual, a small act that, done consistently, can become your most faithful ally for peaceful nights and energetic mornings. Scientific explanation summarized. You may wonder, why exactly these 3 fruits? The key lies in their unique combination of nutrients and natural compounds that work together to improve rest and reduce nighttime bathroom trips. Let's start with the essential minerals. Bananas, pears, and grapes provide potassium and magnesium, both fundamental for maintaining a healthy balance of fluids in the body. When these minerals are at proper levels, the bladder relaxes and the risk of unnecessary contractions during the night decreases. In other words, fewer false alarms of "I need to go to the bathroom." Second comes the role of sleep neurotransmitters. Bananas contain tryptophan, an amino acid that the body transforms into serotonin and then into melatonin. Grapes, on the other hand, are among the few fruits that naturally contain melatonin. Together with the banana, they act directly on the sleep-wake cycle, promoting deep and stable rest. And here another key factor comes into play: glucose stability. The pear, thanks to its pectin and low glycemic index, helps prevent sudden spikes or drops in blood sugar during the night. Why is that so important? Because those fluctuations wake up the brain and, in many cases, stimulate urine production. Keeping glucose balanced means keeping the body in rest mode. We also can't forget the contribution of antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds. The resveratrol in grapes and the flavonoids in pears reduce bladder inflammation and protect the kidneys. A less inflamed bladder is a calmer one, less reactive to small stimuli. Together, these effects function like a perfectly synchronized system: muscle relaxation, sleep regulation, glucose stability, kidney protection, and reduced inflammation. That's why bananas, pears, and grapes make such a powerful trio. They're not miracle fruits. They're ordinary foods that, when combined, provide complete support for your rest and overall well-being. Common causes of nighttime urination. Before continuing, it's worth understanding why this problem, also called nocturia, occurs. Knowing the causes allows you to take more effective measures and avoid mistakes that, without realizing it, can make it worse. One of the most common reasons is excessive liquid intake before bed. And we're not just talking about water. Drinks with diuretic effects like coffee, tea, certain herbal infusions, and, of course, alcohol also play a role. All of them stimulate urine production and put extra pressure on the bladder at the very time your body should be resting. Another common cause is food that irritates the bladder. Among the culprits are very spicy dishes, tomatoes, citrus fruits, chocolate, carbonated drinks, and artificial sweeteners. These foods stimulate bladder activity, making it more likely to contract during the night. A lack of minerals such as potassium and magnesium also plays an important role. When levels are low, the body's fluid balance is disrupted and the risk of muscle spasms increases, even in the bladder. We must not overlook medical conditions either. Diabetes, prostate problems in men, kidney diseases, or hormonal imbalances can all increase nighttime urine production and bladder sensitivity. In these cases, besides adjusting habits, it's essential to consult a specialist to address the real cause. Finally, nocturia can turn into a vicious cycle. Insomnia generates stress. Stress raises blood pressure and alters kidney function, which in turn increases nighttime urine production. And so, night after night, the problem repeats itself. Understanding these causes is the first essential step. When you know what factors to avoid and how to strengthen the body with foods like bananas, pears, and grapes, the chances of achieving restorative sleep multiply. Risks of ignoring the situation. Getting up several times during the night to use the bathroom may seem like a minor inconvenience, something many men think they just have to live with. But neglecting nocturia carries serious health consequences that go far beyond losing a few hours of sleep. The first risk is the disruption of deep sleep. This type of rest is essential for tissue repair, hormone production, and strengthening the immune system. When it's repeatedly interrupted, the body can't recover as it should, leading to constant fatigue and reduced concentration. Over time, lack of quality sleep increases the risk of cardiovascular problems. Research has shown that people who suffer from chronic insomnia are more likely to develop hypertension, arrhythmias, and heart disease. The mind is also affected. Continuous sleep interruptions are linked to accelerated cognitive decline, progressive memory loss, and even faster progression of neurodegenerative diseases in older adults. The emotional effect can't be ignored either. Poor sleep triggers irritability, anxiety, and even depression. Men like Edward, 58, say that after several nights of interruptions, they feel their energy fade and lose enthusiasm for daily activities. In addition, physical fatigue turns into muscle weakness, which increases the risk of falls. Without proper rest, the body becomes clumsy and unsteady, multiplying the chances of accidents at home. In conclusion, nighttime urination is far from a minor issue. If left untreated, it can compromise the heart, memory, emotional well-being, and physical safety. That's why taking simple actions such as including these 3 fruits and adjusting nighttime habits isn't just advice, it's a real way to protect your overall health and quality of life. Complementary nighttime habits. So far, we've talked about the 3 fruits that can help you sleep without interruptions. But to make their effect even stronger, it's essential to combine them with simple routines that prepare your body for deep rest. The first is to regulate fluid intake before bed. Throughout the day, it's best to hydrate in small sips, avoiding large amounts of liquid within 2 hours of bedtime. This way, you maintain balance without overloading the bladder at night. The second habit is to reduce or eliminate caffeine and alcohol in the evening. Coffee, strong teas, some herbal infusions, and alcoholic beverages have a diuretic effect that stimulates the bladder. They also reduce sleep quality, even if they seem to help you fall asleep faster. A third piece of advice is to choose a light dinner. Heavy, salty, or spicy meals increase thirst and, with it, urine production. Choose dinners with cooked vegetables, light proteins such as fish or chicken, and a small portion of whole carbohydrates to help you fall asleep more easily. The fourth habit is related to relaxation before bed. Spend at least 15 minutes on a calm activity, reading, listening to soft music, or practicing deep breathing. These routines reduce tension and help keep the bladder relaxed, since emotional stress can also stimulate it. Finally, take care of your sleeping environment. A cool, dark, and quiet room helps your body stay in a state of rest. If you live in a noisy area, you can use earplugs or try a white noise machine. When these practices are combined with regular consumption of bananas, pears, and grapes, the results come quickly. Men like Edward, 58, report that in just 1 week they noticed the difference: fewer bathroom trips, more hours of deep rest, and mornings full of real energy. In conclusion, nighttime habits are the perfect complement. They're like the fertile soil where these fruits can unfold their full power to bring peaceful, restorative nights. Now that we've gone through this journey together, I want you to remember one clear truth. Waking up several times during the night isn't just an inconvenience. It's your body's way of asking for help. The good news is that the solution doesn't require complicated or expensive treatments. 3 simple fruits, the banana, the pear, and the grape, combined with small nighttime habits, can transform your rest and your health. The banana relaxes the muscles, prevents cramps, and provides tryptophan that promotes sleep. The pear hydrates in a balanced way, stabilizes glucose and protects the sensitive bladder, while the grape, small but powerful, offers natural melatonin and resveratrol to calm inflammation and improve circulation. When combined in a light fruit salad, they become a natural, safe, and accessible remedy. And if you also avoid caffeine in the evening, have a light dinner, and spend a few minutes relaxing before bed, you'll discover what many others already have: peaceful nights and mornings full of renewed energy. Try it tonight. You don't need to wait months or spend money on supplements, because the key is already in your kitchen. Remember, sleeping well isn't a luxury, it's a right. And with simple habits, you can reclaim it and transform your life.